Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in into another episode with your boys right here. Only a matter of time, and we actually have a special guest today, my brother, AJ. So we actually wanted to do, you know, a little special video.
Yes.
I know it's been a while since we last recorded, so we thought we kind of needed to get back into.
Yeah. I mean, we've been living life for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
I've been pretty busy. You've
Yeah.
been busy as well, but I kind of missed recording as well. So we're like, let's do a video, and so we actually, so obviously he's my brother. I've known him my whole life. My whole life.
Hello,
Don't
man.
he?
Almost look like twins. Yeah.
But so like when I met Tal, and then I don't know, you guys met each other.
Through I
You
went
guys
to
wanna tell
New
the
York to do something. I can't remember what it was. It was for an event or something.
Oh yeah, I remember
to,
that. Okay.
to
Oh
help
yeah.
Esmeralda, which is her sister, and then I had met him
Briefly,
in the bathroom.
And
I was
he's
thinking, he said something like, "Oh, I would shake your hand, but you're kind of." Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I was like, "Oh, you're the
Dude,
guy."
You had things with
What
me and
talks
people in
about.
the restroom, bro.
I do. Oh my gosh.
Because that's where we met. Was
Oh, yeah.
P.
Yeah.
I mean, P. We just had like
Oh my
these deep
God.
conversations. And yeah, so and I know that you guys, when you guys finally kind of hung out, was when you guys
Yeah.
met in Long Beach, right?
Yeah, just
Oh,
randomly.
yeah,
that's
we
where you
just
guys-
randomly met in Long Beach.
I was out with a friend at
Yeah.
the I forgot what bar that was, but
We won't
just
say
having- having a
it.
good time. But
I know the bar, but I
and
won't
then
say
I
it.
bumped into him. Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God,
Yeah,
hey,
that was
where
with
you?
Sammy. That's when
Yeah.
Sammy was in town.
And then we
It's
hung
like-
hung out.
And then we brought him along with our shenanigans and
Yeah, to the next day.
7:00 in the morning we were driving back home. So let's just keep it at that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they met. And then when we all got together, I feel like
This is your birthday.
yeah, well, it's my birthday, and
Yeah.
then after that, we
Yeah,
just started hanging out a lot more. But I feel like when we all build a closer bond
Yeah.
between us, like we build like this brotherhood,
Yeah. Yes.
is when we started hiking.
Yes.
When we started hiking,
Yeah.
and then that's when we just got super close,
Yeah.
and we built like this, like you said, like this brotherhood,
Camaraderie.
between this camaraderie.
Yeah.
And so this episode, we want to dedicate it to this quote that we came across, and like I know he tagged us both, and then we're like, dude, that's a really good quote because it's so true.
Yeah.
And I noticed this like once I started making certain changes in my life,
Yes.
is I started to gravitate towards certain people, and
Yeah.
I started attracting certain people more into my
Yes.
life. And when you said that, I was like, it kind of made me like take a step back and like do some self-reflection. Like, okay, now I do like that. This same resonates with me very much deeply. And if you want to say it, you wanna
Yeah.
let them know what it is.
Well, why don't you say it?
Yeah,
Since
you
you're the
say
one
you're the
that
one that-
you're the one-
he's the one that found it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you flow differently when the right people are watering you.
watering you.
Watering.
Watering. Apparently that's not a Boston accent, but what did you say?
Watering.
Jersey.
Oh, yeah, I don't know
Watering.
what you were
Watering.
saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
It was his own accent. It wasn't a Jersey accent. It wasn't any kind
Yeah.
of accent. It was just his own accent.
Yeah, so like I said, I speaking from my own
Yeah.
experiences, and we're kind of like talking about it on the way over here. And like for me, like I said, like once I started on this path, like not only did I start attracting certain people, but I started attracting like certain things. Like,
Yes.
once you vibrate on that level, is you not only attract the people that come along with it, but you
Right.
attract a lot like things that are vibrating on the high energy.
On that same
On that same
energy.
level, exactly.
Yeah.
For sure. If you want to speak on that.
Yeah, I think what we all could relate to. I may be the oldest one in the group, but I think we all go through where we have lived different lives. Like
Yeah.
as we grow, because as you grow and you get older, so you have a group of friends or a group of people around a certain time that you are around, right?
Yeah.
And then as you start growing and changing, like you said, like you go on a spiritual journey, and then you start evolving and you start learning and you start being more aware and conscious of what you intake, including your energy and the people around you, you call your sphere of people, your circle of people. And I could look back and reflect, like I understood why I had those certain type of people in my life at that particular
Yeah.
time. The times that were crazy and the times that were down and dark and stuff like that. I do have a small circle of friends, a handful of friends that I've known since probably most of my life since we were kids, and those are the ones that are like the ones that have gone through each
Yeah.
phase, but that I've gone through a whole bunch of different friends because just depending on the time of my life at that time. So like I had a long time of partying phase, so I had a group of friends that they were just party friends, right?
Yeah.
And so like that's what they were there for, and I mean we had a good time. But we never had deep conversations about anything. If it wasn't about going out or what we're doing, what we're wearing, or where we're going, that's all it went to. And then as I started my journey, our journey as far as spiritual, then you started to see the shift in your friends.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I still have my core friends, but then you start becoming, and that's really how you and I
Yeah.
started, because we would just say what's up and start talking, and then we just started, and then I started to see you started on the journey.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and I started it a while back, but then I haven't talked about it, or even I never, that journey I went on my own. Like kind of was like I was under just kind of doing my own thing, trying to figure it out myself. And then I stopped for a while. I actually, when I met you, I had just got out of someone I was dating for that year.
I remember telling me,
I literally just moved back, and so I was kind of like in limbo as far as what to do, because it was just kind of abruptly that I ended that relationship. And so, and I came back, and I ended up being back home where I wasn't planning to be home, back in Orange County. And so then that's when I met you, and then I started to see, okay, this is probably why I needed to work. I knew I had to work on myself, but I think talking to you just kind of started bringing it back.
Yeah.
And then obviously like the journey is where it is now.
Exactly.
Where we talk, we hang out, we hike.
Yeah.
We socialize, and we just learn from each other.
Yeah.
And the things that we're learning from each other is just bettering ourselves spiritually, mentally, physically, and stuff like that. So I just that saying, that's why it was like perfect when you said it, or when you tagged us, was like, I reflected too, and I was like, dude, like the circle of who I have my core friends that are like family, and then I have you guys, and also like I treat you guys as my family as well. But you guys are just feeding, you guys are like watering me what I need, like this is like things like hiking and stuff like that, and doing videos like these, like you had to pull me out of it, because I was like, I ain't talking about shit on camera. I was supposed to just be a cameraman.
I wasn't how to do this shit.
I was literally just gonna be there just to record him. Like I like to be in the back and just kind of like encourage everybody. But you bringing me out and being able to talk, because I do talk, but only with my close circle of friends.
Right. Yeah.
But then when you add people outside of that, I get nervous, because it's personal for me. So
and I completely agree with that. I just want to add one more thing, is I feel like when you're with the right people, they fucking challenge you.
Oh yeah.
They challenge you in the sense that they want you to be better,
and
they see the potential in you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what you start attracting more, is you attract people that are seeking growth, that seeking personal growth, and are trying to break out of those toxic traits. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's times when shit comes up and you like triggered and you maybe snap at each other, whatever. But then you grow from it. You're like, all right, cool. Like, this guy fucked up, and then you move on. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it was a panic attack. I apologize.
But you gotta bring it up.
Yeah. I'm like, dang. Yeah.
No,
but we're like, it's all love. Like,
it's all
you're
love.
all just like, well, okay, you're having
family.
Yeah. You're like,
it's
you're having a
family.
moment. You get it. Like,
Don't touch the button.
Give him Snickers. Don't get this motherfucking bangs no more.
No more bangs. Like, I don't even. I don't do well with caffeine. So.
So like, you want to share your experience?
Yeah, so for me, he said something very important, which reminded me of another quote. He's saying about the circle around you. Like I came across this last couple days. This quote that says, "You can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you."
Yeah.
And it's like that's where I'm at. Like coming from rehab 2 years ago, and then where I'm at now, it's like I had to make that decision. I mean, they were feeding that in my mind. Like you have to make wiser choices when you get back home, of changing the crowd I was with, and that's where I'm at now. Like finally, when I had gotten back, I think I had downloaded an app where you can meet people, and that's where I was at.
I remember.
So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do without people in my life. Like now I have to get out there, and that was really scary to I'll be on this app.
This was the chat. That was the challenge.
Yeah. That's how I met one of my closest friends now, through a hiking group then, which is kind of cool how it kind of came full circle, and now we have our own hiking group.
Yeah.
you know, that which is really cool. So that's where I'm at. It's like finding a whole new crowd, and it's like a sign from the universe when we came across that quote about you flow differently when the right people are watering you, because that's where I'm at. I just feel way more grounded than I ever have been in my life. That's why I'm loving my 30s, because it's like in my 20s I was such a mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's same with me. Like I'm enjoying my 30s. I'm looking forward to my 40s. But yeah, I feel the same way. Like in your 30s, most people like this where it's where like when we see like growing up, you always thought like people in their 30s had it together and had it like this. And so like in my head, I was like, what the fuck? Like, and so like when you like just get that out of your mind and know that that's not true.
Right.
And then because we're living our 30s and we're like
even for me speaking for myself, like in my early 20s is like me. I felt like so lost. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I was all over the place, and I feel like there was the added pressure of society and like everything outside telling you that you should have shit figured out by
your 30,
and like me, I'm like, fuck, I'm 26, 27, I don't know what the fuck I want to do. Like I started panicking like it's like deep inside, and then I finally was like, you know what, just let go, like just be at peace, like shit, like you are in such a good place right now, and just let it be. Like you are in a place where if you just surrender to what God's plan, and like you'll just start unraveling like right before your eyes. And I feel like that's like one of the crucial things that helped me like get through that was surrendering. Like just fall into the moment. Like go with the flow of the river. The more you go against the current, is the more strength you're gonna exert on something that's not really supposed to be meant for you.
When you really sit back and think about it, it's your own individual journey. Like,
exactly.
So like when you start seeing like or thinking what people or what society say you're supposed to have at this certain time, you're like you're having a hard time doing that because you're trying to conform to what everybody else is trying to, like what they feel like your life should be at a certain time. But when you submit and say like, no, wait, this is my journey. Like
exactly.
I may not get it at 30. I may get it at 35, but at least like you're going with your own journey, and you're getting there the way you want to get there. And so there is no time, because I know people that are in their 30s and 40s and they're like walling out right now. So, so you're almost kind of like, and so it's everyone else's own journey, and whatever phase that you are in your life, just know that like when you sit back and like kind of reflect, and just if you feel the way you feel it, then there's a reason. There's a reason that you're feeling it, and then it's up to you to make the decision to say, okay, I need to make these little decisions. And it's really little choices. It's like, okay, just one. Okay, I made a good choice. Okay, I stopped hanging around these certain people, or I stopped taking this kind of content or whatever, and just kind of like goes from there. And like you said, then you just kind of look with the flow, and then next thing you know, you look up, you're like, I'm happy. You're happy where you're at. And so, and where you're going.
Exactly. And for me, I had to reframe and redefine of what happiness meant to me, what success meant to me. Like before, back at that point, I felt like happiness was equated with all the material assets that we gained.
Money,
money, a house, having a family, or getting a wife and kids and stuff like that. But now it's like it's completely opposite. Like now it's like happiness for me is finding inner peace, doing something that fulfills me and like my purpose. That's what happiness is. Like it has nothing to do with what material assets that I get or anything like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like now I'm more focused on, inward reflection, and watering my, my spiritual self and stuff like that. Because I feel like once you feel good inside, all that is gonna change your outward. If you start, that's all. That like the journey starts inward. Once you start your journey inward, everything outward is gonna change for you.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk more about like
anything else. Like,
well, because like I know you mentioned, I wasn't sure if you were
going to mention the rehab program.
I wasn't sure. Like
I wasn't sure myself.
I
wasn't sure.
I feel like if you like, you touching just more on that journey, if you like, because I feel like I think especially during this time right now, I know there's a few people that are going through that journey. Or is constantly going through that journey.
And in that program, I was just really blessed to be able to go there, because it really put myself into focus, and like through that program it was like learning, when I looked it up, it was like a work program. for me, I thought I was gonna end up at like some kind of like college, and they were gonna teach you some sort of trade.
Oh,
that's what they made it look like.
Oh,
you
I
know?
forgot. Like I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think they
military,
have
like
one
the-
here in
Job
Long
Corps.
Beach.
Almost like a
Job
Job
Corps.
Corps,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what they sold it to me. Like when I got there, it was totally different. In my mind, I was like, "This is a slave camp," but you know what I mean? I needed to like literally be put in that situation
Right.
where I needed to relearn everything.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's like humility, right?
yeah, it humbled yourself because you're doing this, crap work. Doing this. I lived on a farm and I was doing farm work, and it like I was able to refocus. And now like being at the job that I'm at, it was the universe because I was working at Starbucks because I got back from California and it was supposed to be something quick, Starbucks. And I got hired through one of our usuals. He walked in one day and was like, "Hey, are you looking? Have you ever worked in an office?" And I literally just started working on my resume to go back into that because that's what I did. Was work in an office, customer service. And long story short, that's how I got the job. And it's just for me that was the universe.
Yeah.
Like you're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But honestly, I think we should put something out like on this video about like if you're ever struggling with something, like please comment in our boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Miguel will direct you to the right person.
Whether it's
struggling
us or
with
any,
something,
anybody that we know that can help you
Yeah,
out.
for sure.
Because I know that's a big issue, like drug addiction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to ask you, like, I don't mean to put you on the spot. What is one of your biggest failures that you now consider one of your biggest success?
Nice.
One of my biggest failures that I consider now a success.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a hard one. Honestly, I think I have to say it'd be that drug addiction for me because if it wasn't for the drug addiction and going to rehab, I wouldn't be going today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even with the little things around me, like even today, like I was able to take care of a kid, and me before I could not take the time to take care of a kid. I ditch it because my mind was somewhere else, but my mentality has. I feel bad, like in that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just little things that I'm doing. I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for all this other failure that drug addiction brought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That has to be it. That
Yeah.
has to be it because I wouldn't be as happy as I am today, and I wouldn't have learned to not put pressure on myself.
Yeah.
I wouldn't learn the value of family and friends, and how to value people around you and really take the time to care for these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I took that for granted. I take everything for granted
Yeah.
actually in my drug addiction.
And I have a question for this is for all of us. Do you think that you can mend bridges that you burned in your heart?
Yes. You can mend them. But doesn't mean
Can you? Yeah, but
It doesn't
can
mean
you
that you can mend them, but it doesn't mean that they could continue on. Like you don't have to continue a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Like it could just be something that you just have to go back and you acknowledge the fuck ups that you did in that relationship, and it doesn't mean that you have to like go back to them, or it's just something that you need to take care of, and then so you could move forward because you feel because I've gone back and I know you have as well.
Yeah, that happened.
Gone back and tried to, or at least, or successfully mend things, but and then it didn't mean that we have to be friends or continue on
Exactly.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
What do you think?
Can you mend? What was the question again?
Can you mend bridges that you burned down in the past? Like burned down. You know that saying like don't burn your bridges.
Yeah.
So like say, can you mend your bridges that you burned down?
For me, I mean, I have a great example, like the relationship that I had with one of my siblings. Like
Yeah.
I had no relationship with them, zero.
Yeah.
Like when I left to that program, we weren't even talking. Like and every time I saw the person, I was angry for some
Yeah.
reason, and I think it was the same on their side. But when I got back, I ended up living with the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
We ended up mending our relationship, and we're so cool now, and we're able to sit there and have a conversation and go out together and celebrate, our time that we have together. And and that was one of the people that when I got back was able to give me a hand and was like, dude, I got you. Like, you need some help? Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, I got you. We're cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely do think so. Yes.
Yeah, and I completely agree too. I think I agree with both of what you said. I feel like I'm gonna add on like I feel that when you reach out to someone and you're trying to mend those bridges, is like you kind of have to let go of expectations.
yes,
Because
yes.
you don't know where their mind's at,
yeah.
and you don't know if they're holding more resentment than you are, or if they're ready to
Right.
take that step to forgive you.
Right.
And I've learned like you can put it out there and then just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And because like and what I've learned is it's like everyone learns like different lessons at different periods of the time.
Yes.
Doesn't mean you're more ahead of that person, you're
No.
more progressed or anything like that. It's just maybe they haven't learned what they need to get them to like kind of like it like clicks in their head.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you that this like one day it just like hits you like fuck. It just hits you one day and you're like able to make sense of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they probably just haven't had that moment of clarity
Yeah.
where it just clicks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because everyone's on their own journey.
Everyone's on their own journey, and like when you mend bridges, they may not be on that same journey as you are, where they're ready to forgive you. And that's what I'm saying is like you have to be okay with them,
If they
saying
don't-
no,
yeah.
or they're like I'm
No,
cool.
or
You
they
know what I'm
don't
saying?
respond.
They don't respond.
Or, yeah, you totally have to. Exactly. You have to be okay with that.
You have to be okay.
because
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
yeah,
go
That recently happened to me actually. Like,
Yeah.
I had something,
yeah,
went wrong in a friendship, and I reached out and I did my part, and I was like, I apologized. I mean, it went nowhere, but I did my part.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
extended that hand, and I wasn't expecting anything.
right.
I just
Right.
knew that okay, I feel good.
Yeah,
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 It's
yeah.
not heavy anymore.
Yeah.
Because it was heavy for a bit.
because it's happened to me like before, and I've gotten both where like you get people like they're cool and they're like, oh, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. You
Yeah.
get people that just don't respond
Yeah.
to you.
Some
Or
people that
you-
just say fuck you.
Yeah.
And you're like,
go fuck
okay,
yourself.
got
You know what
it.
I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, all right, cool, got it. Like
Yeah.
I don't. And then for me, is like, is you have to be compassionate with people
Yeah.
because you don't know where they're at. in the
Yeah,
journey.
exactly.
They might be, and it's they might just projecting. They might just be projecting onto you.
Oh, for sure.
But they just don't know it.
Yeah. You have to. Like, I feel like,
You know
yeah, you just have to. Don't take it personal.
exactly. Don't take it personal.
When they do, because I've had relationships prior where I go, I just want to apologize. And they're just, yeah, I'm still angry at you. And I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
like I don't want to even see you or whatever. You're
Yeah.
just like, well, damn. I mean, I didn't know. You're just gonna be like, well, damn. Like, okay, so no hug. That's good. You can't hug it out. No,
Can't hug
okay,
it out.
cool. And I just at the first, I didn't remember like that first time when that happened. I was like, I was a little bit like, I took it. I was like a little sad. And it was sad, but then I had to like continue. You know what I'm saying? Because again, and you feel for them. You can't be right back mad at them. Well, like
Yeah.
fuck you too.
Yeah,
Because then that was the whole point of you
Yeah,
going
that's
back
the
and
point.
apologizing. Then
Yeah.
if you weren't where you were at, you know what I'm saying? Then that means you were just apologizing to try to prove something, right? So yeah, you don't want to throw it right back at them if they're like not receiving your apology or whatever. So,
Yeah, and a lot of times like forgiveness has mostly to do with you.
Oh, for
Less
sure.
about them.
a lot less about them.
Yeah, so like when you're doing it, to
I
like
agree.
seek something out of it, it's almost like you're doing it from a place of ego
Yeah.
because you're looking to not you're looking to. I feel like it's almost like one up. a person.
Yeah, that's when
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
that's when it's like
Like you almost make it seem like, oh, I'm better than
Yeah,
you because I
that's-
came out
because
first.
I-
for
yeah,
giving
yeah,
me
yeah.
this. And you have to let go of that shit.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
this is more for you to be able, because like when
To
you
heal,
you're not
find
to
peace.
heal and
Find
like
peace
let
and
let
heal.
that energy fucking flow through you without any blockages. Because when you're holding on to that resentment, that hate,
Negative
that
energy.
Yeah,
negative
yeah.
energy, it just like I'm saying, it's almost like a fucking block. It's almost like clogging the energy from flowing, flowing like the way it should be.
Right.
If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
And allowing you to attract the things that you really want in your life.
I just posted something today, which is kind of funny. I was like, men who are doing inner healing work is the new sexy, and I feel like that's it. It is. Like I
Send me
feel
that
like.
link.
Bro, send me that app. But like, and that goes for everybody. Like, I feel like everyone that's going through this journey, as far as like bettering themselves spiritually and mentally, and just kind of like talking about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
About if you're seeking, when the white people are watering you, you do flow differently. Yeah, you start to acknowledge people. It just doesn't who it is. Like again with you, I've acknowledged in this last 6 months, I've seen a growth.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
and
definitely,
just seeing that you're in a great place, and I acknowledge that, we acknowledge it, and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and so you just start to see like the change in people. And also going back with the friends, like sometimes you have those friends that that you probably have for a long time, and then they see the change in you, and then you have those friends that want to come along with you, and they're seeking that same thing. and then you have those
Yeah.
friends. But then you also have those other friends that just kind of fall off because they're just like, oh, you're about that life, or you know.
Or you're like,
Yeah,
you're trying
like
to be better.
yeah,
This
yeah,
and
trying to
that,
be better, or like here you go with the spiritual stuff. And so,
Yeah.
perfect example with my best friend, the 20 years with her, like
Yeah.
our journey this year, like yeah, we've been tight as hell like since high school.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until this year until she started her journey. But I remember when I would say stuff like that, or when her niece was actually starting her journey as well, her spiritual journey, and she would kind of like just make little smirky remarks about it, like here she go again, going like that's just, way to the left, or like she goes with that spiritual shit. And so then that what made me did not want to talk to her about the kind of stuff, right? And then it wasn't until this year when she started her journey, and then when we started to reflect back, I'll go, remember this time, remember that time, remember this time, and she was just like,
Okay,
she was like, what the heck?
receipts.
No, not receipts, but like because when the times that I was going through some hard stuff, we would talk.
Yeah.
We always lived apart since high school, and so I was able to pinpoint. Remember that time I was going through that, or this time or that time, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll go." That's when I was going through my journey. I did it all like, and she was just like, because she made a comment like, she was like, "Man, do I even know you?" And then I started laughing. I go, you do. It's just now we know each other more now on this level, and I'm so happy that we are where we're at because it just evolved our friendship, even though it's been like 20 years. But like this part is where I'm having the most, like we're having the most fun, and we're like crying, and like we're going through the change, and she's sending me stuff like that. And so like that's what I'm saying, like you'll have those friends that like you may not want to talk to them about it because you because of just stuff they say, but then once they get there and when they acknowledge it, oh my gosh, like your guys' friendship is just like it'll be better. So just be aware of that. Like you'll have friends that'll probably fall off. You have friends that secretly want to do that.
They'll come along.
They'll come along. They want to come along with you and like, take them with you and just learn from each other. So
and I feel like don't press people too hard.
Oh yeah,
about these matters.
You're
because
right.
like I said, when you do that,
it just
you push them further away from where they from that journey where they need to be. You're like you make them not want to get into it.
Yeah.
So
it's just like they like lead by example, right?
Exactly.
Like it's exactly that. Like if they see the change in you. And if they want to be, if they see that that's what they want as well, they'll come to you.
Exactly.
But like if you're shoving it down their throat or like giving them a hard time about like, oh, that's what I'm saying, like it pushes me away.
Yeah,
like
I know.
me, so
like I say, you attract more bees with honey.
Yeah, exactly. And so
they speak louder than words.
Exactly.
Like,
no, it does.
Your actions are like.
No, exactly.
Wait, hold up, what's going on there?
Yeah,
Let me analyze that. Like
right.
They're doing something right.
Right.
Their energy levels. They're
And they also see like we're still not perfect. Like we have our moments where we get triggered or we get, and then when they see how you adjust to it, like even when I just was like having a moment and like was like lashing out at whoever was like, but I turned around, I was like, I acknowledged it and I apologized. You know what I'm saying? Like because I was like, no, that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? Like that shows like that. Okay, it's normal to have that, but it's just how you go back and you fix it and you just kind of acknowledge that like that wasn't right for me to do or say or have, and people see that too. Not only like okay, they see you doing stuff, but they see that oh shit, like you have moments that where my guard was down and I was like angry and I got angry, and they see like oh okay, like you're normal, you know, say or whatever that normal is. It's okay, you're human, So I think when they see that and they see that you handle it and go forward, that that tracks me too. Like, oh yeah, they fucked up and they they came back and they acknowledged it and they apologized sincerely, And
you hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, dude, that's hot to me. Like I was like, thank you. Like, let's hug it out. Okay, now let's go move on about our lives. Yeah,
let's go party on.
Yeah,
that continues. But anyways, you guys have anything else to add on?
No, well, I just want to add on to what he said about that is like I feel like if you do make a mistake or you fall back, I've learned in my time like it's exactly that. It's a setback, and just a setback isn't going to cancel out all the progress that you've made. You know what I mean? And that's where I think I was in my 20s, where I thought these little setbacks or these little mistakes was the end of the world.
The
end of the world.
Yes,
it's I was. All that I had done to progress, it was in the trash, and that's just not true.
That's not the truth. Yeah,
No,
that's the the enemy or whoever.
It's just a moment.
Yeah,
It's a moment to learn from that mistake,
exactly.
and from there forward, you just pick up right where you left off,
Right.
and you continue your journey on your growth.
Yeah, I can relate to that because I am a lot harder on myself. Like, and
Yeah.
I feel like that I've grown. Like where I'm at now is like, yeah, I'm not as hard on myself. Like doing a setback. But yeah, I used to be like really freaking.
And to be honest, like I'm glad that you brought up
Yeah.
that's an important thing.
Because I think that's what
It's like,
triggers.
you got to be forgiving.
Yeah.
You know, I realize like people fuck up and they can still learn from that experience. Like that doesn't have to just because they had that fucked up, they fucked up and had that fucked up experience.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're bad people.
Yeah,
or
forgiving
they-
themselves. That's
forgive themselves,
Yeah.
and then we as people need to forgive other people.
and then
too.
forgive them. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like be forgiving, be compassionate. Like
yeah.
the way you judge others is just a reflection of how you judge yourself
Exactly.
partially. If
Yeah.
not, you'll probably judge yourself even
Yeah.
more.
No,
Even
exactly.
more harder. So like I said, just be compassionate with other people and with yourself as well. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Only a Matter of Time.
Thanks, AJ.
Yes, thank you, AJ, for coming on.
on.
All right, y'all hope y'all have a blessed weekend. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.